Hello Year 5! This week we are studying the artist known as Banksy. Now some of you may have seen his work exhibited around the city of Bristol because this is where he's from. But did you know he has actually exhibited his work all around London, in Liverpool and even abroad such as San Francisco in America, Vienna and even Bethlehem. Now I have a book of Banksy's work and I know that your task today is to try and create your own Banksy inspired piece of art. Now I really hope you enjoy doing this task today and we are really keen to see as many of them as possible so we can display them on our WordPress website so then you can all see each other's. But I thought it might be really useful if I showed you some of Banksy's work from this book to inspire your own image. Now last week you were asked to write your name in a graffiti style. And Banksy talks a lot about graffiti in this book. And he's been quoted as saying that despite what many say about graffiti, it is not the lowest form of art. So what he means by that is a lot of people think it's vandalism. Many people think that people shouldn't be graffitiing different walls in the cities. And lots of people try and get rid of it. But he thinks it's actually one of the more honest art forms in the world, and it exhibits on the best walls a town has to offer, and nobody is put off by the price of admission. So that means it's free for everyone to enjoy and no one has to worry about paying to get into art galleries to see it. So I'm going to show you some of what I think are really unusual, creative and inspiring pieces of work by Banksy. He has lots of political views which he tries to get across in his artwork. So let's have a look. And if any of them inspire you, then you can do a task which is similar to that style for your work today. So here we actually have what looks like a very large paint spillage, which he's branded with his own name so people know it was him that did it. I thought this one was pretty cool. This shows three very powerful, wealthy men waiting for a bus. And then we have this person here keeping it real, looking very, very different, but still in the same queue as these people. So there's a display there of hierarchy in society. I really like these images. He is showing here what looks to be like a cut out here line drawn on walls or in random places on buildings. Imagine what that looked like if that was cut away and taken away. It's really powerful work that will really get you thinking. This was in Paris, drawn in 2003. And again, he continued this style of painting in Bethnal Green in London. He's even done one here around a toilet. This one shows buried treasure in Weston-super-Mare, so not that far from Bristol. How awesome would that be? I wonder how many people actually started digging, thinking they might find some buried treasure underneath the sand. This one's in London, drawn in 2004, and this is a very large plain wall with a camera to check for any abnormal activity. And he's just written, "What are you looking at?" Which obviously is a message there for the camera. So something very simple, but actually probably is protesting his rights against being watched and not having any privacy. There's this one drawn in Manchester, which is of an animal, a wild animal, which has clearly been caged and transported somewhere. And it shows him escaping. And he's very interestingly put a barcode on, which makes it seem like this animal is a product, which is something you can just buy and sell. But he's managed to escape. I like this one quite a lot. It really gets me thinking about how we treat our wild animals in this world. Banksy really enjoys drawing monkeys and rats, and there's a whole section in this book just about his work around rats. And he was drawing rats for quite a long time because he believes that they have the power to take over whole cities. And spread lots of diseases and really have a negative impact on our cities. However, He also realised after about 3 years of drawing rats that it's an anagram of art, which is quite interesting. I really like this one, which looks like he's sawing a circle in the ground. And this one here looks like he's been painting the walls, no ball games, whilst playing with a ball on his line. So these are really interesting ones. And again, this one is another rat with like a ninja mask on. And this wall is almost like a door. You can see the hinges here. And behind it, it says that there is nothing of value behind here. And it's even padlocked. And then Banksy's graffitied a picture of a rat that looks like he's trying to break in to this door to see what's inside. These images were drawn in Bethlehem in 2005. This is quite a poor area of this place in the world. And he's drawn here 2 young boys who look quite poor, playing with a bucket and spade. And then he's drawn what looks like a cracked window of paradise. So it's showing that these boys are either thinking about this or dreaming about this, but it's also almost out of their reach. It's very different to the world in which they're living in here. And here we've got a girl possibly trying to get away by escaping using some balloons here. So these might inspire something. This might inspire you to draw something similar like this today. Again, another image drawn in Bethlehem of a living room, table, curtains, and then looking out somewhere very, very different to where they are sitting in real life. So again, it's like a window to another world, almost like a dream world that they may not have ever seen before in real life. This man here stood admiring this picture. I've drawn on a very large fence in Bethlehem. And this is the last image I'm going to show you. These are photographs of real animals holding signs of really important messages. I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. Although that seems quite silly and quite funny, actually I think it's Banksy's way of making people aware that these animals need to get out and go somewhere, maybe back to their natural environment so they can be happier. We've got one here. It looks like he's in captivity. It says, "Help me, nobody will let me go home." It's very sad. So you can use photography in your task today if that is something that inspires you. So all of these were taken from my Banksy book. As you can see, it's a very, very thick book with lots of different images in. Some are very political, some are not really appropriate to show you today, but I hope the ones that I have showed you have inspired you with your task today, and I cannot wait to see them.